Hey, what's up, y'all? Today is Wednesday, March 25th, and today I'm in Valberg, Sweden. It's over on the west coast. For me, this is like the outer banks of Sweden, man. It's a cool spot. Behind me, we got a proper castle today, man, the Valberg Festing. Let's check it out. Yeah, this is the back side of the castle, y'all. You can see it's quite formidable. We got a lot of stuff going on out here. Let's take a walk. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. That's beautiful, huh? Yeah, that's nice. Now you know why I call it the Outer Banks of Sweden. Look at that. This formidable, foreboding castle would have dominated the Kattegat. That's where we're at, right over here. So yeah, there's a nice break right out here in front of this castle. We'll walk out over here and take a look at it in a minute. On the way here, I was checking the beach. A few dudes out, you know, it's cold too, man. But yeah, it's summertime, good break, awesome skate park here. Yeah, I built one here last year, man. I'm real pleased with it. We're over there building a mini ramp over by the train station now. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Get it, buddy. See, they don't care. Look at this. Nobody's caring about Corona over here, bud. All right, we'll go up here. We'll talk. I've been trying to make sense of this Swedish mentality and the coronavirus. It's something else. But let's just admire this for a minute. All right. Let's walk on over to the front and take a peek. Oh man, she's going quick, huh? I should have caught that whole thing for you, man. It's just beautiful. But anyway, all over here, over this side over here that we're looking at, that's also an ancient Bronze Age burial ground as well. It's just fantastic. I wanted to make it over there and get the sunset, but I didn't have enough time. Let's get back on that sunset, man. That's just gorgeous. And this place is full of it over here. I mean, all around this area, there's walk-in graves, dolmens, cairns. I mean, it's just an amazing place. And not to mention, you have this thing. Lots of history behind that. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, there's a break right over here too. And yeah, the Bronze Age stuff. I mean, it's a fantastic park, man. I highly recommend it. Back over where we're staying, back over here, there's some other Bronze Age stone. It's kind of like a hinge over here. Maybe we'll get time to check that out. So yeah, man, let's just admire this one more time. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's head up to the top before it gets too dark. So yeah, the Swedish mentality. And you've seen it out there yourself firsthand. Everybody running by, woo, you know. Hey, that sums up the whole attitude right now with this coronavirus stuff. I mean, it is just as nonchalant, you know, business as usual, you know, just as cool as a cucumber. Man, actually, you know, people are starting to take it a little more serious. They're talking about day zero, and hey, what's going to happen? But you know, there's still a lot of people out there that, hey, let's just have a party, or let's go to the bar. They opened up the gyms again. And if you're a young person, I can see where, you know, you're kind of like, hey, what's the fuss? But you look at what's happening in some of these places, and you see what the fuss is. Woo, man. But anyway, man. Let's go around the back, and then we'll talk about this Swedish mentality a little more. First off, I'd just like to say that, you know, I love Sweden. I mean, it's a great place. All of Scandinavia, really. It's just phenomenal. I love it here. It's beautiful, and the people are great. You know, here in Sweden, one thing that really attracted me, that you hear about the Swedish model. Okay, the primary thing that I thought was cool was that, yeah, like in the Constitution, of course I don't know what it is verbatim or anything like that, but basically the principle behind the society is that, hey, we don't want to make this just all about money. It's got to be about quality of life. And they have all these opportunities for people to form associations, clubs, that sort of thing around their hobbies, their passion, around nature, and it's just a good way to form community and, you know, improve your life and have fun. You know, it's not all about like, hey, we got to get up to this 9 to 5 and hustle, hustle, hustle. I mean, it was a big adjustment for me when I had to, you know, I came over here, and you know, it was a big adjustment for some of the people I had to work with too. I mean, they're like, whoa, 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 we got to have fika. You know, it's like a coffee break. It's really cool. I mean, there's just lots of things that I admire about Sweden, Scandinavians in general. They're just, for the most part, very honest, good-natured people. I mean, they're just cool. You know, one thing that you hear about, I guess, a lot is, you know, especially now with election time and all that stuff, is free health care and all that. I mean, they have that here, but it's not really quite what you expect. I think the biggest benefit of it is that it drives down the price. You have an alternative that's free, and so with the private doctors, it's not as expensive to go. So, I mean, that's kind of the biggest benefit I see out of it. I mean, I've seen some horror stories, man, at the hospital. Hey, but I saw this dude walk out the hospital with half his head. I ain't even kidding, man. They had to put half his skull in a cryogenic chamber, and he was getting paranoid. I mean, obviously he had a major concussion. He was whacked, and he strolled right on out. I couldn't believe it, man. He had on this funny little helmet. He looked like something out of like Toxic Avenger. It wasn't funny, but it looked comical. I mean, it was horrifying, man. I couldn't believe it. That dude ended up having to have like his skull FedEx back to him so he could get it put back in. I've seen a few other things, man. They messed my eye all up too, man. That wasn't nice. But I mean, the people are nice, and it's not really the doctors. I mean, they do a great job over there. You see these horror stories everywhere, but for real, yeah. And, you know, the administrative stuff, it's hard to get through. You got to book a lot of time, and you're dealing with bureaucratic type people. But then again, like I said, hey, you get private doctors, and they're you know, they're great, man, and they're not as expensive. And the nationalized health care system is not that bad either, man. It really isn't. I mean, other than people walking around with half their skull. But yeah, so that's what's up. Now, you see with this coronavirus stuff, let's go over and check out this other side. Okay, as you can see up here, I mean, this fortress was built in the 13th century. I mean, this is made for war. And I can't think of a more martial society than up here in Scandinavia. I mean, you look up in the past, okay? You look at the Viking Age. Heck, they had an era named after them. An age named after them, the Viking Age. Okay, and then after that, I mean, they kept carrying on. You know, this was, you know, the Danes and the Swedes fought each other over this continually. The Norwegians making pacts with Norwegians, the tale of the two Ingeborgs. It's a great one. All kinds of characters in that, and intrigue and betrayal and marriages and funny stuff, man. And they were in brutality. Yeah. So yeah, they even up into the 15 and 1600s. I mean, up in that time, Sweden was a superpower. They were kicking the Russians' butt, and they just dominated this whole area up in the, you know, the Baltic and into in Northern Europe. There's rich trade up here as well. So I mean, they were very powerful. They had this elite force called the Carolinians. I thought that was cool. Hey, if your name's Carolinian, you know you're gonna be a tough son of, you know what. But anyway, man. But check it out, man. The Swedes have been a very pacifist country for a long, long time. All right, I can't remember if they set out the Napoleonic Wars or not. I think they did, but there was no World War I, no World War II. Okay, You can see over in the, and I think where this is relevant is the response to this coronavirus. I mean, you can see over in Norway and in Denmark, they still have people that are from that war generation that are still alive, or their memory is still alive, and their story is still, it's still in the family and being remembered and that sort of thing. Just like the greatest generation in the United States. They didn't have that here. They were neutral. Okay, and they got rich off of it. When the rest of Europe was being bombed out and blown up, I mean, these guys were selling iron and ammunition to the Germans, and they made a lot of money. It helped fund this society, which is a great society, afterwards. So, yeah, man, that's not really, they don't have that, these tales of sacrifice, remembering, and, been to war, and not only just the tales, the epigenetics. I was going to say genetics, but epigenetics. They got the genetics, but epigenetically, man, they don't have those, hard times. They've had it good here, man, and I really, really like this place. It's changed a bit, man, over the past several years. I mean, everywhere has, man. It's just the way it is. But yeah, they don't really have that, and also, being an American, you're, old school. You're kind of brought up with this to have as far as the founding fathers wanted it, you're supposed to have a healthy distrust of government. Okay, you don't need to. Over here, it's a bit different. Okay, they've kind of just fall right in line, and really, I mean, trust in the government is kind of just a given. Everybody, if you say you don't trust the government, people think you're, a tinfoil hat. And that's starting to change a bit. Now, I'm not saying, hey man, go around and distrust the government, but you need to hold these people accountable. Okay. Now, I don't know what the situation is, and what's going to happen with all this stuff. Okay. Maybe it's the right way to go. Maybe it's not, but nobody shut down. And what are you going to do? Hey, and I got to say again, I'm starting to like that more. Man, I looked over and what's going on in the States, and people are like, nah, man, we're going to face this. We're not going to go out and wreck the economy and wreck the world. I mean, hell, man. You see these people, I mean, I don't know. It's too early to tell. Oh, let's get back over here. It's too early to tell whether they're just naive or they're really true, brave, good, people. I mean, this is some kind of hardcore stoic thing, and they're right. Man, I hope that it is. I mean, hey, there's nothing. The biggest enemy of this thing is fear. I mean, all this anxiety. It's not like we have an enemy that we can see and fight. It's just this, paranoia all the time. Oh man, did I touch something? Am I gonna get sick? What's gonna happen next week? When's day zero gonna come? That's not healthy, man. So. But hey, it's not healthy to go around and congregate with a bunch of people when you know a pandemic's coming either. There's got to be a little bit of a middle ground, I think, is probably the best option, You can't stop everything, but, what you can, you should probably slow down. Hey, I'm not an expert. I'm just on a rant here. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, man, I lost my train of thought. Man, I worked all day. I'm going to go home and get some food later.